Hello everyone, this is Shadowdragon back with more DC Universe Online. In this video we're going to be taking a look at and trying to break down some of the news we got from San Diego Comic-Con, where they revealed that the next two episodes are going to be based on Dark Knight's Metal. So the first episode that's coming out is going to be in September, so there is a bit of a I think there's a delay in the normal release schedule because Justice League Dark just seems to be a little bit stretched. So it's going to go September and then December. They're going to pack both of them into 2019 still. So it should be interesting to see how they divide it up. Like I would imagine Dark Knight's Metal 1 is going to be shorter than 2, sort of like a Riddled with Crime type of episode where it was like a small edition and you could get through it kind of quickly. And then part 2 should probably carry it out to over 3 months and bring us into whatever the next one is. The announcement did sort of get me by surprise a little bit because the whole Metal arc it's definitely different than like regular canon DC Comics. If you look at the images of it, like just search Google for Dark Knight's Metal, it really looks like an Elseworlds storyline if you just look at like the artwork, because it features like characters that aren't in our normal universe, and they are like dark borderline to evil variations of Batman. But it is a canonized arc. In a nutshell, basically our Bruce Wayne discovers like a dark multiverse. So these are different Earths where Bruce Wayne exists. I believe all of them are Bruce Wayne, but we'll get down into each individual character in a little bit. But it does feature like the regular canon Justice League in these dark multiverses, and they would be interacting with these variants of Batman. Now, Metal artwork isn't entirely new to DC Universe Online. They did give us a bunch of the styles through various pieces of content. This is a thumbnail from Torikimu's video featuring the emblems that they gave us in 2018 during the anniversary event. So I think you can still get these whenever that opens up, and that's the Antimatter Metropolis, when that opens up every January in that zone. You should be able to get that from the vendor, and there are regular and enhanced versions. For more details on this, just click on the card to the upper right to view Torikimu's detailed video on these emblems and what they look like. The first Batman variant is Red Death, and I wanted to start out with this one because it was the first metal style that we got in DC Universe Online. This was an older time capsule called the Paradox capsule. I think that was maybe 9 or 10, but it's definitely much older and harder to get now. I'm kind of hoping that with the release of Metal, like maybe they'll promote this one, like let it drop again for a while. It would definitely be good just because it's related and people are going to want this with the new episode. So this is one of the Batman that we do have the styles for already. Red Death is obviously a combination of Flash and Batman. I don't know too much about the storyline, but it has something to do with like Bruce Wayne strapping Barry Allen to the Batmobile and kind of killing him while tapping into the Speed Force. So this, as well as the others, I think are either Bruce Wayne or some variant of Bruce Wayne. As with the emblems, I'm going to link to Torikimu's video on this style as well if you want to see what that looks like. The second style that we already have in-game is called the Drowned. And this came from the Cursed Gotham time capsules, which is a bit more recent. I think this came out before Atlantis, or it was like during Atlantis. But it was kind of related because this is like the fusion of Batman and Aquaman. Except in this universe, all the genders are swapped. So this is not Bruce Wayne, it's actually a female named Bryce Wayne. And other examples in this universe, you have like a Sylvester Kyle that's, I guess, Catman, but that's like the reverse of Catwoman, Selena Kyle. So pretty much all of the characters that we know are just gender swapped, which is why this Bat character is female. So just like the Red Death style, I hope they bring this one back in time for the metal release, so that way you can have two of them drop in capsules for people who missed it the first time around. And this one was a popular style, mainly because I think the jacket and the trident were popular, because the trident became like a weapon back. It wasn't actually a weapon style, so it was a back piece for everyone to use. And the jacket, like, it was unique because it kind of overlapped a lot of slots. So that's the end of what we already have. Now on to the other characters. So next up is the Batman Who Laughs. And you can tell by the picture name that this is obviously a mix of Batman and Joker, but it is Bruce Wayne. Now with this one, I'm interested to see how they're going to voice it. One of the things they could do is just make it the Joker and get Mark Hamill, which would be pretty cool because I don't think we've had Mark Hamill in the game for a while, and he's probably really expensive now because we've gone through a bunch of Star Wars movies already, recent ones with him in it. The other thing they could do is get Kevin Conroy, who is also pretty expensive. So hopefully they were at least able to sign him up, because they're going to need a lot of Kevin Conroy to do all these Batman. But the interesting thing about this one is if Kevin Conroy did an impression of Mark Hamill's Joker, that would be pretty cool for this character here. Now, if we're going to take a guess at the styles that we get as players for our characters, it shouldn't be too difficult because we've got 2 episodes. There's usually 2 styles per episode, and of the major Batman variants, there are 4 left. So this is one of them. As you can see, he doesn't have all the slots that we would have as players. So what the artist would do is kind of create items that match. So I guess as an example, there's no back slot for this one. So maybe the back is like some chains or something, or some kind of weapon back. So that's one of the things you could look for if you happen to catch like some concept art from one of the artists that they post on their own website. If you see that they're filling in the slots, you can pretty much make a good guess that that's going to be a player character style. Whereas if it was just an NPC, it's probably going to be missing the slots. Next up we have Dawnbreaker, and this is the corrupted Green Lantern version of Bruce Wayne. Now this one should be pretty popular, as a lot of people are into the Lantern arcs. So I imagine this one would become a player style. Just based on process of elimination, I think all these are going to be player styles. It should be interesting to see which ones are vendor and which ones are the purple dropped style. But this one looks like it could have a lot of usable parts, by both Batman-inspired characters as well as lanterns. And the next one is Devastator, which is a combination of Bruce Wayne and Doomsday, which is pretty interesting. So in this universe, I think it's an evil Superman that damages Bruce Wayne, and then Bruce Wayne takes like the Doomsday virus, which creates this amalgamated version of Batman and Doomsday. Now, with this one, if there was one they were going to omit for a player style, it might be this one, just because it's like a different body type. Like Doomsday is a pretty different body type, but you could grab parts from him. So I could see this as like one of the vendor releases where they maybe give you like the head, shoulder, and hands or something. But I think it would be a stretch to make this a full. So that being said, that would subtract one of the Batman styles, making it 3 left for 2 episodes. But there are other characters in here, so they could pull one of the styles from something else that's popular. And again, I'm not too familiar with this, so I'll have to dig and make another guess if they don't provide the Doomsday one as a style. And the one I'm looking forward to most is the Merciless. And this is sort of it's a combination of Batman into the Wonder Woman arc, but it's actually Ares. So it is like an Ares looking armor with some bat features like wings and stuff. But I could definitely see myself using a lot of these parts, like for my character, since I have a lot of knights and medieval themed characters. This might even be an update to Shadow Dragon style, which hasn't been touched for quite some time. But a full plate style like Ares could easily be made into a player style because it's going to have all of the slots. So out of the ones we're missing so far, I think this one is almost positive that we'll get this in some way. Now the last of the major ones, and by that I mean like the earlier books of Metal, because I think they added more later on. But this is the Murder Machine, and at first I didn't know what this what the fusion was, because it could be like Cyborg, it could be Cyborg Superman, but it has something to do with Bruce Wayne and the Cyborg character. Like maybe they came up with this robot. So I don't think there's actually anyone in there. I think this is an AI version of maybe the fusion of the two characters. But I'm sure you could Google that and get some more details. But like the Ares style, this style kind of covers the whole body, so it will have a lot of the slots without the artist having to come up with a missing piece that matches. So I think these last two are the highest probability that we'll get player styles for. And then of course we're probably going to see all of these characters as NPCs in the game. Alright, this last image was posted by Comic Book Resources to Twitter. So I think Daybreak probably released like a low-res teaser to the press. So we're going to take a closer look at this. This is the in-game environment. So obviously with the Batman being like the major attraction here, we're going to get another version of Gotham. So this image is only like 720 wide. I couldn't find a higher res version of it, so we're going to zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to bump up the contrast so that it will get rid of some of the haze and we could see some of the detail. So obviously it's going to be darker than this when we're actually walking around, but I'm trying to demystify some of the details here. Okay, yeah, I can't tell what street this is. But definitely Gotham and not Metropolis. We've got these huge vines here. I actually recognize these as some base items that we already have. We have these as panopticon cables, and these are the variants of it. So those are just retextured to look like vines, which they actually do look like vines already. Now, whenever you see vines and flowers, what comes to mind is poison ivy, but I couldn't find anything poison ivy related to the metal arc. So maybe this is just, like a messed up version of Gotham, where nature was just allowed to take over for a while. So let's go in a little bit closer. I imagine we'll get some of these as base items as well. Like the lamps with vines hanging down. But there's not really a whole lot in there. I mean, we've got the logo, which is the same as the comic books. This could be one of like the key art screens, one of the loading screens that get added to the game. Now the vines way back here, we do not have as base items, I don't think. That doesn't look familiar at all. But yeah, not too much here. It's just a teaser of the environment. They don't have any of the NPCs in here quite yet. They are keeping this under wraps like pretty well, because they didn't release, and I don't think they even tweeted anything close to metal until Comic-Con. And usually, like with DLC releases, they'll like tease something a little bit earlier, but they definitely threw us off. They only showed us Donna Troy, which they said was for some future episode that may or may not be the next one. Metal is not really related to Donna Troy, but I don't know, with DC Universe Online, you never know. So with a September release, we can definitely expect this to be on test server sometime in early August, hopefully. So stay tuned to the channel for coverage on that. As soon as something is on test, I'll try to get on it and post videos. Also keep your eye on VARNation for news on YouTube, as well as DCUO Sourcewall and Gotham Gazette on the web and Twitter. They will usually cover the news before I'm able to do a video for it.